Because I feel like nowadays, everyone thinks trying is cringy. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Becca. I'm a writer. I'm currently working on my debut literary fiction novel, which is tentatively titled Project Eden. It is what I have been softly pitching as a 90s East Coast autumn ghost story. And if you're not new, hello, hi. I am so happy to see you again. This week's video is one that I decided to do kind of last minute. Honestly, because I'm trying to get my life together. We're going to be doing a bit of a challenge. I'm calling it being that girl for a week. And all I mean by that is I feel like I could be more head ass about things. Because of that damn phone, I just waste so much of my time scrolling and sitting on like TikTok and stuff like that. And I keep telling myself, oh, I don't have time for YouTube. Oh, I don't have time for writing, when to be completely honest, it's simply just not true. So I really wanted to try to go balls to the wall with work, with myself, with writing, and with YouTube. I kind of did a little bit of pre-planning. I took a 3-day weekend last weekend, which was so necessary, honestly, because I felt like on Sunday I didn't have Sunday scaries. I felt like on Sunday I actually woke up ready to be like quite productive and like plan out my week. And I think as an adult, that's kind of become the secret sauce to success, is like you kind of have to plan things, and I'm not always very good at that. So I took the time, I completely redid my Notion page for like my personal stuff, for writing, for everything. I created a brand new home base for myself. I planned out all of my videos for April. I decided to come up with a morning and evening routine to help me with this challenge. And there's a couple of things that I'm kind of hoping to achieve with this challenge. I am going to be waking up at 5 in the morning every day this week, even on the days that I go into the office. And what I do in those blocks of time, some things will remain the same, some things may change. I'm giving myself a certain level of flexibility. But the one thing that I really want to try and do in the mornings is write, read, and move in some way, whether it's stretching or going for a walk. And my mind is freshest in the morning. I think I had a really great writing session today because I was able to, I think, kind of plan the writing session a little bit better. I finished up my chapter 7 with Joy, Taylor, and Tia yesterday. I felt like I could jump into a fresh chapter today. I could create a game plan. I mapped out my scenes, and I just felt like overall my session was a lot more productive. And I ended up getting like 650 words in about 40 minutes. And I feel pretty confident in the level of words that I actually had. The other thing that I'm kind of hoping to achieve with this, I think from like a personal side, I'm really struggling with like personal style and like taking care of myself, showing up for myself. So one of the things that I really want to try and do this week is do 2 of 3 things to take care of myself and like show up for myself. Either do my hair, do my makeup, or do my outfit. Today I did my makeup. I'm working from home, so I'm wearing a cozy outfit and my hair is in a clip, but I'm going to be doing my hair later. But basically, I just want to show up for myself physically. I feel like I don't do the best job of that, and that really takes a toll on like my self-esteem and my self-worth. And then I end up spiraling about a bunch of other stuff like, oh, like I'm ugly, my book sucks, my videos suck, like all this stuff. And I hate that so much of like self-worth is tied to appearance. I'm trying to uncouple that as best as I can, but at the same time, I do think there is something to be said about showing up for yourself physically and taking care of yourself and your personal hygiene and your grooming. So I really want to make sure that like I really try with my outfits and my hair and my makeup for the rest of the week, especially the days that I go into the office. Not that I didn't, but I just want to go that extra step. And basically what I'm kind of hoping to take away from this week is to, number one, flex this muscle of discipline that I've always wanted to flex, and I think show up for myself in ways that I haven't really showed up for myself in the past. I want to make some progress on my book. I'm about 30% of the way through redrafting this bad boy, and I think we'll definitely hit 30,000 words of the new draft in this video. I'm like literally 400 words away, I think. So that's exciting. And I definitely want to feel like I'm just way more equipped to tackle YouTube and be consistent. So day one, we are already done with our morning routine. I'm going to have some breakfast because I am starving, and I will take you guys along with me for the rest of the workday and check in with you guys later. Hi, we're going to do a very quick check-in because, to be completely honest, I haven't been doing much except working. With this like work project off my plate, it has felt so nice to log in on a Monday and not feel this looming pressure to turn something in by the end of the day. So I've just been like slowly catching up on all of these peripheral projects and like tasks that I wanted to get done and get ahead on some other things. So I've been working on that today. On my lunch break, I also edited the beginning of this vlog. Also, I'm so sorry. The footage from this morning was so grainy. Obviously, I don't film in the dark like that often. Normally, I would use this, which is my little like camera light situation, but it's actually broken. So I ordered a new one and it's coming today so that I can film in the dark and it looks better. It is just after 3 o'clock. Normally, when I try these like 5 a.m. routines, the days that I try them, it's usually like the second and third day where I feel really tired. But we just got an email that we all get to work from home tomorrow. So I feel like I could not have picked a better week to do this because it gives me time to like ease into it from the comfort of my own home. So if I feel really, really tired tomorrow, I can lay down for a little bit and not feel like I'm suffering. Because I think if I was at work and I had like the urge to take a nap, I think I would die. We're slowly chugging along. It's a beautiful day. Like the sun is shining, the sky is blue. There's not a single cloud in sight. And I think I might log off at like 4:45 and go read in the park. I think I'm going to take a break from Cleopatra and Frankenstein because I need to finish up Moth's Blood. Lynn very kindly asked me to just read it. It's so good. It is so, so good. And I need to get that to her before the end of the month. I'm going to keep working, answering some emails. That's all that I have for right now. I just wanted to check in. This vlog may be chatty because if I'm working from home and I'm going to be home alone tomorrow, I'm going to have a lot of time to just talk. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up my work and I will check in with you guys when it's time to do our afternoon routine. morning, you guys. I figured I would check in with you because I actually didn't check in with you yesterday before our afternoon routine. It is Tuesday. It's 10 to 7. So for my afternoon routine yesterday, I did manage to get outside, which was lovely. It was still really cold, and I think I am brute forcing my way to spring, even though it's still really windy and really chilly. But it was nice to like get outside, feel the sunshine. I used my new chair, my new outside chair. After that, I stopped by the grocery store to get a couple things for dinner. I did make myself dinner. I made salmon and rice. I'm trying not to eat out this week. I'm trying to make as many meals as I can at home. Ignore the Chick-fil-A that you saw me pick up yesterday. That's not any of our business, okay? I managed to do every single hobby that I always say I don't have time to do. I got to game for an hour. I got to read for an hour. I got to write for like an hour and a half. I was very present during my work. I got to spend time with my husband. Like, it felt like a very well-rounded day, to be completely honest. So I was really happy with that. I also realized a couple things. Number one, this might not be a full week like I anticipated because I was editing the footage from yesterday and it's already 16 minutes long. So I might only do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for my mental well-being because I really don't think you guys want to hear me talk for an hour. But I also realized I wanted to go over my goals again because I realized that I wasn't totally thorough with them. So number one is no phone in the mornings or in the afternoon. 2 was putting effort into my appearance. 3 was reading for an hour a day. 4 is writing for an hour and a half or getting 1,200 words. 30 minutes of movement or spending time outside. Being diligent about my skincare both morning and night. And I did manage to do all of that yesterday, actually, which I was really proud of. The only thing is that this morning, my alarm went off at 5 and I woke up at 5. I didn't have the will to get out of bed at 5. Mind you, I didn't reach for my phone. I didn't scroll. I told myself, I was like, oh, I'll give myself till 6 because, to be completely honest, 5 was like kind of overkill yesterday. And I think it's just like giving me some like insight into the fact that like I don't think I need to be a 5 a.m. girl specifically, but like a 6 a.m. might actually work best for me. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with like my wake window and see what works best for me, but I was up and awake and alert at 5, so I just laid in bed for 45 minutes trying to fall asleep and not being able to, so I got up at like 5:45. I made myself some breakfast. I made some toast, some coffee, and I've been watching this new channel that I discovered this morning. Her name is Casey Sabran. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. She is absolutely adorable. I really hope you couldn't hear that train. Been watching Casey's videos. I watched it while I ate my breakfast. She is such a cutie patootie. And then I just spent some time editing this video up until now. So I think right now I'm just going to wrap up editing, and then from 7 to 9, I'm just going to work on writing. I should be able to hit my word goal by then, I hope. The chapters have been going a little bit more slowly, mainly because I'm trying to be really intentional with them. Like I truly am trying to not leave anything bracketed. I want them to have really good structure. I don't know. I feel like I'm in this weird place where I keep saying like I'm in revisions, but to be completely honest, I'm basically redrafting this entire first half of the story, and I'm gonna have to redraft, I'd say like 30% of the second half. But we are officially like 30% of the way through the story, which feels really good. And I'm happy with the progress that we're making. It's slow, but I'm trying to focus more on the time that I'm showing up to work on it as opposed to the words that I'm adding per day. But honestly, just like the fact that I'm setting aside time to work on it is a win in and of itself. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna count it as a win. But I will take you guys along with me again for today. But we're gonna have the apartment to ourselves. Edwin's going into the office. I am not. And yeah, I will check in with you guys later. Hi guys, it is a little bit past noon. It is 12:30. I have made my lunch. I have some carbonara ramen noodles and 3 hard-boiled eggs. Please don't judge me. I know this is not healthy. If I were like truly being like committing to the bit and being like that girl, my diet would have to be completely different. So my goal is just to eat at home, as I said. I wanted to just very quickly touch base because my morning routine. So I did not write this morning, mainly because I got sucked up in video editing, and also I really wanted to read Moths. I thought about doing some writing on my lunch break, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to work through my lunch to get caught up on a couple things to take off a little bit earlier this afternoon, and then I want to go to the coffee shop and write. So the thing with me and writing right now is it takes a lot for me to get myself in the headspace of writing. I basically want to lock in for like a while, probably like a true hour and a half. And I want to make sure that if I have like a meeting, like I have an hour and a half right now for lunch, but if I have a meeting that I know is coming up, like I won't be able to let myself fully get immersed in my writing. But the day is going well. I am just plugging away on some work tasks, to be completely honest. Work has never been an issue for me. I'm usually pretty good at focusing, usually pretty good at staying on top of things. I'm gonna enjoy my lunch, but I will talk to you guys later. Hello, it is Wednesday. It's quite late on Wednesday, actually. It's already like 3 o'clock. I have been chugging along at work. I had a meeting at 10 a.m. this morning that I had to be a pretty active participant in, and then I just had another meeting with my team. It is day 3 of this challenge. As you probably saw yesterday, I did not have enough time to go to the gym. Instead, I did decide to go write at a coffee shop. We hit 30,000 words in the draft, which is so exciting. I am feeling more and more confident with the direction that I'm taking the story with each writing session. Usually not in the middle of the writing session. In the middle of it, I'm kind of like, am I even doing this right? But then by the time I finish, I'm like, okay, like I can see the vision, I can see the direction. This morning, I, to be completely honest, could not wake up at 5. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when I do like my wrap up and my reflection for this whole experience. But I did wake up at 6 and I wrote for about an hour and a half. I did some sprints alongside Mick and Ari, and I hit my word goal for today as well. So I think we're sitting somewhere around like 31,000 words for the draft. So far, I am on track to hit 90,000 words in this draft. I'm about a third of the way through redrafting this. For today, I'm going to be so honest with you. I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I didn't do my hair, but I did put on a little bit of makeup and at least some jewelry to feel a little bit more put together. And I think it's doing wonders for my mental health, to be completely honest. Every time I turn on a Zoom call and I look, halfway decent, I'm like, okay, I can see how there are definitely mental health benefits to putting in a little bit of effort into your appearance, even when you're working from home. I am actually going to make some time to go to the gym this afternoon since I finished up my writing so early in the morning. And basically, we're just going to do a 30-minute walk. I would love to finish reading the rest of Moths. I think I have 3 chapters left. Mind you, I'm not reading the entire book. I'm only reading like the first few chapters. And then I think what I'm going to do after that, honestly, is I'm going to DNF Cleopatra and Frankenstein because I'm not enjoying it. I am almost like halfway through this book and I just simply, I'm not having a good time. I really liked Blue Sisters and I just can't find myself to care about the characters in this book. So I think it's time to DNF and move on to the next one. I do have Sunrise on the Reaping that I kind of want to dive into. Anyways, that is my update. Hi guys, welcome to Friday. I think it's time for a recap. I want to break this section up into 3 kind of mini sections. We're going to talk about the things that liked and that worked out for me. We're going to talk about some of the things that I felt like I really struggled with. And then we're going to talk about where we're going to take this routine moving forward. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the things that I actually really enjoyed about my 5 a.m. routine. Before I jump in, I do want to caveat, as you saw probably throughout the week, that every morning routine was quite different. I gave myself a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom to kind of build the routines as the day went on. And while that was kind of nice, it also posed some problems, which we're going to talk about later. But I did give myself a lot of flexibility. Day 1 did not look like day 2, did not look like day 3. And to be completely honest, my wake up time got later and later. So my first day, I did wake up at 5 a.m. My second day, I woke up at 5 but didn't get out of bed until about like 5:45. And then Wednesday, I woke up at 6. I will say that on the days where I did wake up really early, regardless if it was 5 or 6, I felt like my days felt so well-rounded. I felt like I got to do everything I wanted to do. I hung out with my husband. I got to play video games. I got to read. I got to discover new channels to watch. I got to catch up on all of my friends' content. I felt like I took care of myself. I was eating at home. I was very present with myself in a way that sometimes I'm not when I let my days go by quite passively. And I think that the big thing that I wanted to learn from this week and take away was, what do I feel like and what is my mentality like when I'm being very intentional about my time, when I'm not sitting on the couch for like an hour or two just on my phone, which, don't get me wrong, is sometimes very necessary. But I was also being very cognizant of when that hour or hour and a half of me being on my phone was, right? Was it after I'd finished everything that I wanted to do for the day? Did I write? Did I read? Did I talk to someone that wasn't my husband? Was I present with my work? I think more than anything, having that extra time in the morning really helped me understand how precious my time is and how I actually have a lot more of it than I thought I did. I was very happy with that. I felt like I had a lot of energy as well. I woke up in a much better mood. Like when my husband gets up sometimes, I'm still quite cranky, but because I woke up and I had kind of a little bit of time to myself and I got to do something that made me really happy and a little bit more energized, I just felt like I came to the day a little bit more better equipped and more ready to take things on and just have a better attitude about things. So that was really, really nice, and I actually totally enjoyed that. But there were also some things that I really struggled with. Because I did not have structure and I kind of let myself feel my way through my morning and my evening routines, I actually found that my determination dwindled as the week went on. While letting myself have some freedom to develop my morning and evening routines was good to find out what didn't work, I think if I'm gonna make this like a pretty consistent part of like my life, I need to have structure to these routines. So like I need to solidify like, am I getting up at 5 in the morning? Is the treadmill the first thing that I get on? Do I make my breakfast and then sit down to write or to read? Like I really need to be a little bit more diligent about not just giving myself the time in the morning to myself, but like being very cognizant of how I spend it as well. Interestingly enough, one of the first things that I also mentioned at the beginning of this video was that I felt like planning and being really diligent and intentional about, I think, just my day-to-day was going to be really important to me and like success as an adult. Honestly, I ended up getting so much decision fatigue because I didn't plan as well as I should have. By the end of the afternoon, like even though I pushed through mentally of like, God, what am I gonna have for dinner? What is that I'm gonna wanna do? How am I gonna spend this time? Like I need to not spend it on the couch. That's all I know. And sometimes that would work. Sometimes just knowing that like, okay, I know for at the very least, like I can't lay down in bed. I can't sit on the couch because I know I'm just gonna rot for way too long. Sometimes that was enough. But I was watching this TikTok that said, your mood shouldn't dictate your days, your plan should. And I don't know, that just really stuck with me. So I really feel like the 20, 30 minutes to an hour that you can spend planning out your days or your weeks are really going to be super crucial, as well as like your discipline in how, for those of us that are working 9 to 5 and pursuing creative habits outside of that, I think that is actually going to be really important. So I think moving forward, I would also really need to structure what I'm doing with the blocks of time that I'm giving myself. I don't do so well with time blocking, but I think being like, okay, here's the checklist of things that I need to do, I think that's going to be really helpful for me. And then lastly, the thing that I oddly was struggling with like quite a bit near the end was a lot of eye strain, because I have a lot of hobbies that require me to be like in front of a screen with writing, with YouTube, with work, obviously. And because I was on the screen a lot longer than I typically am, my eyes were screaming at me. Like my eyes were so tired, like mentally, I would be there like 100%. But by the end of the day, I was so ready to go to sleep. Like that's the one thing, I never had a problem going to sleep at 10. I think prior to this, I was always in bed at 10. And I'd like watch videos or something until like 11 or something like that. But no, when I got in bed, I was in bed by like 9:30 at the latest, and then like asleep by 10 o'clock every night because my eyes were so strained. I do think waking up at 5 specifically, something about that time is really important. So even though I gave myself time to wake up at like 6 and I still had 3 hours before work, I felt myself kind of scrambling through my writing sessions or my reading. I just genuinely did have less time, obviously. So I think there is something to be said about waking up specifically at 5 and having that routine and being intentional and showing up for it. And then in the afternoon, it's much more about winding down. I think that's where I really kind of struggled. I still tried to do a lot of mental things in the afternoon, where in reality, that's the time that I should kind of be winding down and getting ready for the next day. So if I look at the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of this challenge, I did not touch my phone in the mornings. I was actually so proud of the fact that I did not touch my phone at all. I did put effort into my appearance. While I couldn't do 2 out of the 3 things that I had said, which was either hair, makeup, or an outfit, I did do at least one of those. On Tuesday, I think I actually did all 3, so I was really proud of that. But I did do at least one of those things a day, so I feel like we can check that off. I did read for a minimum of an hour a day, either before my workday or right before bed. I was trying really hard to not have any screen time before sleep because I felt like that was also keeping me up. So reading something for a little bit before going to sleep actually helped me fall asleep so much faster and deeper than when I just scroll on my phone in bed. Write for an hour and a half a day or write 1,200 words. I crushed that. I felt so happy about that. And on Thursday, on a day when I wasn't even supposed to write, same with Tuesday, I actually ended up writing both of those days, so I was really happy about that. 30 minutes of movement or time outside. I think there was only one day that I didn't do this, and I think it was Tuesday, but Monday I spent time outside, and then Wednesday night I did actually end up going to the gym, so that was really great. Doing my skincare morning at night, I did that as well. My skincare is pretty easy, so I had no problem doing that either, and I was asleep before 10 o'clock every single night. So I hit every single thing that I wanted to do, but I think there were just a couple more things that I could have done to be even more successful this week. But all in all, this was fun. Will I be a 5 a.m. girly? I think I'm gonna try. And honestly, that's the biggest thing. The whole reason why I have my channel and I like showing things is because I really want to, number one, show up for myself and be seen trying, because I feel like nowadays everyone thinks trying is cringy, like you either have it or you don't, but no one really talks about the fact that sometimes to have it, you have to work really hard for it and you have to stumble through it and it has to be imperfect. And if writing this book has taught me anything, it's that done is better than perfect. You know, trying is not cringy, it's a part of life. And I really encourage all of you, if there's something that you've been wanting to try, or if you're really struggling to, I don't know, put yourself or some of your creative endeavors first, it's all about discipline, unfortunately. But the really good thing is that that's a muscle that you can absolutely build. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to know in the comments down below, for those of you that are working 9-to-5s and you are also working on your projects, writing, creative, anything at all, how are you guys carving out time to show up for yourselves and make progress, either big or small, on the things that you're working on? I would love to know. Share your words of wisdom in the comments down below. But if you made it all the way to the end of the video, you can also feel free to leave a sun emoji because it's 70 degrees right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.